Look, I done rolled up my damn sleeves. Shall we get into it tonight? Hello. Are you all out there? It's your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I am back with the Joseph Conner. We are talking all things. This is what y'all been waiting for. When I mean y'all been hitting our Mammy Tap line. Hitting our line. Hello, where are y'all at? What are y'all talking about? Have y'all seen it? Yes, we have.
Yeah. We
are talking all things Married at First Sight. Episode 15, season 18. The Lies. I don't know if that's the name of this episode, but it just seems
no, because that was the name of. I think we already had an episode called The Lies because somebody else they was lying 3 weeks ago too.
Child, truth is I'm tired. Options are few. By this time, the Eagles beat the brakes.
Somebody called the cop. They called the FBI on us.
It was a domestic dispute.
It was dangerous. It was violent.
Okay.
Just so y'all know.
Brutally beat the brakes off of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, they did.
With a T.
That's right.
But they had to play the Eagles fair and square, and they got their ass
We saw
whipped.
what happened.
Exactly.
Yes, we did.
Just like we knew the Eagles were going to win. I was telling Joe all week the Eagles are going to win. Relax.
I felt like it's so funny because I said to our uncle 30 minutes before the game, I said, I think the only way we win is if we blow them out. I said, because if it's a close game, you know what the refs are going to do. I got the Facebook post to prove it. I said it. He posted something. I said, we going to have to blow them out. I was nervous all week because of the refs. And then something just was like, we got to blow them. There's no way that we win other than blowing them out. So we did it. I called it.
And we did it. And the score says 40-22.
Nah.
But it's really 40-6.
It's 40-6. I didn't even see the other point scored. I don't even know if I was in the living room when it was happening.
Yeah, we ended up hosting. It actually worked out because normally my biggest thing is that I'm like the person, if you come to my house, I want to take care of you. I really don't like potlucks.
Yeah.
But we just host a lot.
Yeah, we host a lot.
The truth is we host a lot. Out. And Joe was like, he want to be comfortable. He want to be in his space. He needs to be around only Eagles fans.
Yeah, I ain't want to.
You know what I mean?
To protect the energy this year.
He needed to protect the energy. And the truth is, y'all got to contribute.
Right.
That sound bad because that's not really who we are. We do normally take care of our guests.
No, y'all have to contribute.
But
people will really just show up to somebody's house, bro. Especially a house like ours where we'll overwhelm you with like everything. Yeah. Food, drinks, everything. People will just show up and be like, here's a bottle of water.
No, literally used.
What?
We are the champions. So shout out to everybody on Broad Street. Me and Joe did the first parade.
Yeah.
Like 7 years ago. We did that one. And so I hope y'all having a blast on Broad Street. When I tell you I had a time. We was like literally out 5 a.m. to 5 a.m.
It was amazing.
It was lit. Okay. So anybody who's going to the parade, please be safe. Okay. But have the best time and get lit.
Yeah. That last time, that's the only reason why I really feel so comfortable not going this time because we had the time of our lives the last time.
I feel so comfortable not going.
We had the time of our lives. That and it's on Valentine's Day. I'm taking my wife to see Babyface. So.
Who, me?
Yeah.
So let's dig on in because we got some things to get into tonight. We're still at the couples retreat if you did not know.
We've been at this retreat for 2 years.
And baby, let me tell y'all something. I am going to say this now before we get into the actual what happened. This was the best edited episode of Married at First Sight history.
Now, I would say yes, agreed. The only the commercials was diabolical, y'all. We would be like at a commercial, on commercial break for 7 minutes. It would come back to the show for 60 seconds, go back to commercial for another 7 minutes. I've never experienced anything like that. Especially, I think it was even more exacerbated by the fact that there was a lot happening in that 60 seconds. So it would be 60 seconds of like some type of drama and then back to commercial for like 30 minutes. It was crazy. I'm like, when did y'all start doing this? We definitely watched more commercial than we watched show.
And I think that's for sure. And what happens is when that happens, I feel like it brings down the production value.
Yeah.
And although I feel like, because you're absolutely correct, although I feel like it was the best produced because you actually felt like you was running around the house
you was in
getting all the tea. You know what I mean?
It was like that episode of Succession on the boat. If y'all haven't seen Succession, that's maybe the greatest scripted episode of television you'll ever watch. It's the boat episode. It's one of the finales of the show. It's amazing.
Which the Bear Christmas episode.
Oh, that rivals
Coded. What do I say? Same thing, different font?
Yeah.
Just both of them are like phenomenal chef's kiss episodes, and that's what this episode of Married at First Sight gave. It was perfectly produced, okay? So I'm saying all that to say let's dig in, because let me tell you something. Michelle, where in the world is... She's basically giving Carmen Sandiego, because baby is she's Nancy Drew with it, okay?
It was Carmen Sandiego for sure.
She is out here, okay? She first explains her suspicions to MM and Camille. What's very clear to me is that everybody knows. I don't give a damn what nobody say. The more I thought about this episode and watched it unfold, the more I'm like, why did nobody seem surprised?
You know what? And I didn't think about it to this moment. Nobody seemed surprised.
Not one person.
It did just feel like, because we talked about this too. It did feel like not only did nobody seem surprised, but it felt like nobody was bothered. You know what I mean? It just was very weird.
So I want to get into that. So I want you to hold on to that thought, right? Because I'm going to take you there. Now, Madison and Alan, after MM and Camille and Michelle speak, first of all, Michelle shouldn't be taking any advice from MM, okay?
I know.
She just got her legs back and they prosthetic. All right? We don't even know that hoe know how to stand up for real.
Right.
If we keeping it 100. So I don't know that she should be taking too much advice from her, but Michelle... To me, I know how you feel about Michelle, but baby,
no, her investigating skills are great. I just think
orgasmic.
Her investigative skills are phenomenal. I think she's a terrible person and spouse. That's what two things can be true, as we say.
I think these attributes that she displayed whilst trying to get to the bottom of things were, I don't know if they were redeeming. But if that's the word I want to use, or I want to use, I got to know another layer of her that I kind of love. And I'm a Virgo. Her person. I'm a Virgo. Yeah. So for me, one, I like women who have audacity. And it's very clear that that's what Michelle has, right? And I love an audacious woman. And I love how she cuts to the quick with people, which is funny because that's what I also don't like about her.
Yes.
But I did love it in this moment because she was like, I'm not going to let up off that ass until I get the mammy tap answer I want.
Right.
And I loved it. So she started this conversation with and Camille. They gave her terrible advice and told her that she needs to talk to David first. She said, but David been lying to my face. Why would I go talk to the person who be lying to my face? I need to talk to the other person. Which, Michelle, you're right. And I'm glad you stuck with your gut. Well, what did you think about that? Her talking to and Camille. Before I move on.
I just thought it just came up as a weird conversation to me. Like you said, it was evident they're bad actors. Like they already knew. And I just felt it proved the point of like Michelle, this is more about Michelle investigating and being right about it.
Yes.
Because I just thought there was an air of lightheartedness in the room, for lack of a better word. Like I felt like
it's unserious.
I felt it was a little unserious. Like MM was giggling a little bit, Camille was giggling a little bit, Michelle was giggling a little bit.
But
you know what I mean?
Y'all, when you talking to your girlfriend, right, and you could be going through the worst of the worst with your man, right? But you talking to your girlfriend will find a way to say something that make it light, and it will be a little giggle.
And I think sometimes yes, but I think in this instance no, because we already have a precursor that this woman did not like this man. And I think, which shout out to you Threads, because there was a lot of people on Threads that was women Most of it was women that was clocking that fact. A lot of people was like, Michelle, don't try us. Like we get you a one investigative of the year award, but the only person that's really hurt in the situation is Alan, which I would agree with 100%. So that's what I mean. Because we have that backstory, that's why I was just like, no, it's given like you're not really upset.
Okay. So Madison and Alan go karting, and he talks about his feelings. Now, all of this happens before we find out anything about Madison and David. And she's still lying to this man's face, okay? And she says to this man that she really believes that they have made really good progress. And he asked her, is there a part of you that is like, I like this guy and what I want to see where it goes? And she says, well, yeah, like I wouldn't be still in it and everything. Just lying.
I said no. I mean, before he even got the sentence out, I said no. Because I knew where he was going. And I'm like, we know the answer is no.
Child, don't wait till I get into Mr. Allen, okay? Carla and Juan do pottery. Who cares? Blah, 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 blah. They say it was a very dramatic night. And he's really happy that he's paired with Carla. And that's primarily because Carla don't expect nothing from Juan. She don't require nothing from Juan. Juan get the coast and she cool with it. So Juan and Carla go and do pottery. Again, Juan tells us that he's just so glad he got paired with Carla because it's just been so easy, specifically because he watching everything unfold with everyone else and it's been nothing but drama.
And I'm glad that this commentary happened with Juan because this is real life married couple stuff. What he's feeling is perspective. You will really think you and your spouse is down bad until you get around a couple that is really in the mud and you be like, you know what?
For real. And you
all right with me.
For real.
I mean, we've had these moments.
Literally.
Like, this is real life stuff. And I'm sure if you talk to any married couple who's been married for some time, they can attest to this. You have those moments where sometimes you just need life to put things in perspective, or life will just put things in perspective, and you will realize, you know what we got going on ain't really that bad.
But his perspective is not marriage. That's the difference.
I think his perspective was like, we're not.
He's grateful.
That's what I mean. Like, I think his perspective was, we're not Thomas and Camille.
No.
But we also ain't Michelle and David.
Hello?
You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Or Alan and Madison.
Right.
For that matter. Or hell, EKG and
or hell, EKG. Right. That's what I mean. He like, all these mother. He like, we second best.
Second place.
I think he really looked around and was like, I've never seen Juan so lighthearted in my life. He's singing Kumbaya on the guitar, literally.
Child, he said, I don't give a damn. Me and your energy gonna be good. Screw what they got going.
He like, we're technically in second place.
I appreciated that.
That's some real stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate. And that speaks to, I've said a lot about Juan. I've been very critical. And I've only been critical because I understand that it's hard to be critical of Juan because everybody else is so terrible.
Yes.
And he's not a terrible human. He's just what I thought was not like bought in. But the truth of the matter is he has really been in this. You know what I mean? It might not be the way that I want him to be in it, but he there.
Yeah, and I think my perspective of Juan's behavior is more or less like, yes, I would love him to give more transparency about his feelings, but he is in no way like Ikechi.
Oh,
like he's not. He's been respectful with Carla the entire time. He's shown up. He's been a part of the process. He's asked questions. He's been, you know what I mean. So I just think he's really not. I think he's not in love with his spouse or whatever. But I also am keeping put him in the right place on the spectrum of especially of this cast of he's nowhere near the bottom to me.
Do you think that they were flirting when they were doing pottery when she was like, ooh?
I think they were flirting a little bit during the pottery.
I kind of felt a little something bubbling.
I think that perspective does put your spouse in a more positive light for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I'm just thinking about from how those being in that situation made me feel. Like whenever we were going through a hard time and we went and we was around, I remember, this is a little bit of story time and I'll make it quick. Me and Zar was like, you know, in the early ongoings of like, you know, our relationship, not our relationship, but like marriage and all of that stuff. And we had a very close friend couple who was going through something diabolical. it got to the point where I almost felt like their drama made us closer in a way, because then I'm thinking, oh, we going through stuff, but our stuff is regular.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it got to the point where I had to tell Zar, like, I don't even want to talk about their stuff. Because it got so crazy that I was like, I don't even want that energy in my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that perspective it's really a fascinating thing.
It is because you do start to think like it ain't even that bad. Because I'd be like, he get on my nerves and he do this, he do that, and then it's like, ooh, child.
Yeah.
But he is. Listen, I'm gonna figure it out. That's what I'm saying, because I know ain't nothing on the other side of this. Ain't nothing out there.
Tulum.
We watching Ready to Love too, and it's nothing out there.
Y'all are showing us.
It's nothing.
Let me tell you,
He gonna have 5 babies.
You want marriage counseling? Watch The Single.
But you know what though? That's for real. That's such a good point.
It will really put you in your place.
Because in my mind, I feel like, and not that I ever think about being single, I really don't. But I feel like if I were, even on my, like if I'm mad, I'd be like, you know what, girl?
I have no desire to be outside.
Get it together.
Yeah. I have no desire to be outside.
Y'all are stray cats.
Y'all are crazy.
And I'm housebroken. I don't want nothing to do with you raggedy street rats.
Not the street rats.
Nothing to do with you street rats. Okay?
Y'all are crazy.
I'm not doing it. So, that's funny. Let's stick on in. Thomas and Camille talk about kids. This is so premature. Y'all don't even know where y'all going to live.
No, but don't do Thomas like that, because we would want. Now, we get on Ikechi for being short-sighted. You know what I mean? We get on these other guys for being like, Juan doesn't have any depth to him. But Thomas is thinking long-term. You know what I mean? So if we going to crush these other people for not being bought in and not wanting to talk about where we going to live, Akechi and MM, not wanting to talk about life after decision day, we got to give Thomas some kudos and some praise for being like, let's talk about life after decision day, way after decision day.
It felt like he was trying to talk her out of having a kid.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't
I
see
felt
that.
like he was like, well, it's going to change our life. And it felt like how you and I had the conversation about kids and how I was.
I didn't get. You know what? It's funny. I got the total opposite of that. I felt like she was trying to put it off down the road. Like, oh, maybe in 2 years. And he was like, you sure? Like, I'm ready to do it now.
It's funny because I felt like he said, well, it's going to change our life. And, you know, we can move freely now. And, you know, if we bring in a child, then we would have to make our schedules and everything would revolve around that child. And
I thought he was trying to show her that I'm aware of this. Like, I'm aware that it's going to change. Because in the same breath, I remember him saying things like, I know we have to talk about where we're going to live. And I know we have to talk about the finances. And I know we need to talk about this baby stuff. And I'm aware of that. Like, it felt like he was trying to almost put her to me, it felt like he was trying to almost put her at ease to the fact that, like, I know we haven't talked about these topics, but I'm aware and I'm into it. And I'm trying to show you that, like, I'm thinking about babies with you. I'm thinking about, life with you. Because it's funny because in watching the after party, Keisha was asking her, Camille was on the after party, and Keisha was asking Camille questions based off of that premise. Like, were you ready that time? Were you caught off? She basically asked her, were you caught off guard that Thomas is thinking about babies?
And what did she say?
She said, no. She said she wasn't caught. Oh, well, I'm lying. She didn't say she wasn't caught off guard by it, but she said she wasn't like alarmed by it. Okay. She was basically saying, like, you know what I mean? It's definitely something I'm thinking about and things like that. So that's why I said it was interesting, because I took it as the same way. I took it as like he was almost jumping the gun, and she felt like a little in that moment. It felt like she was like, oh, not now, 2 years.
Oh, okay. So this is one of my favorite parts of that episode. Michelle and Alan chat, okay? And she says something, and this is where I wanted you to hold on to that thought you had earlier. She says something that I think is giving to what the group feels. She felt like her feelings at the table when she brought out everything about David were being dismissed. She felt like nobody was like trying to hear it. And she said, I thought it was odd that the first person to get up and walk away was Madison. Now, this is Michelle laying these seeds with Alan, right? What did you think about her saying that she felt like her feelings were dismissed?
It's funny, they got into this on the after party too. And their consensus was that the truth of the matter is you were looking at David's response and Madison's response and projecting it onto the group, because the other women were saying we didn't pick a side. And Camille says something to the effect of, I understand that sometimes not picking a side can feel like abandonment or whatever.
Not picking a side is picking a side.
Right. And I think Camille was saying to her, like, I know maybe not picking a side can feel like abandonment, but we weren't taking a part in like trying to stuff it out. That was really Madison and David. And we all saw that and we all realized that was Madison and David. But that wasn't the consensus for the group. You know what I mean?
Okay. Because I did feel like she was dismissed at the table. And I think she was primarily dismissed because everybody has seen the way that she's treated David. So people don't have that same kind of grace for her.
Oh, 100%.
That she's getting a little bit of karmic energy. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think two things can be true. I do think that the group generally, because we've seen them, if you've been watching the after party, when this stuff has started to bubble, you can tell that the other cast members, although they are apathetic to Michelle's plight as far as getting cheated on, they also are clocking her, like some of those comments that I saw online where you can tell that because Carla did it, where you can tell that they're like, we're not going to go all the way with you, Michelle, because we've watched you treat David how you've treated him for weeks.
Because you're not the wronged party. The truth of the matter is, and I think this is everybody's sentiment, which is why nobody was really giving her any extra energy. Mm-hmm. Nobody sees you as the wrong party because of how you've treated him. However, how this is playing out is wrong.
Right.
And I think that people can hold those two things, like the duality of that.
Right.
And I feel like, that's what I think she is missing. Like, we're not going to coddle you as you are the wrong party, but your Sherlock Holmes investigative skills is chef's kiss. This was a Shakespearean play, by the way.
Right.
It felt like Othello or Macbeth or like Midsummer's Night's Dream. I felt like there was action, there was crime, there was death, there was love. I felt like, oh my God, I'm going through so many emotions. There was deceit, there was betrayal.
No, 100%.
Once Michelle speaks to Madison and Alan, she gets the idea that, she feels like she was being dismissed, like nobody was talking about it. And she starts laying these seeds with Alan. And Alan is just not trying to hear it. He's just like, I don't see what you see. I don't understand. It was the slowest come to Jesus moment I've ever seen in real time.
It really was. Now, part of that was wishful thinking. Part of it was that Alan didn't want to see it. The same way that they say the saying, if you search for something, you'll find it. Like, yes. If you're looking for it, you'll find it, right? If you think, oh, I'm going to catch my spouse cheating, you can almost create a scenario from anything that you see that I can connect this to that, right? The same way you can do that, you can also talk yourself out of something.
Yes.
And just make yourself blind to anything. Oh, I found a condom wrapper under our bed. Maybe that's from the time that we used the condom 3 years ago. Like,
well,
you'd
also
be like,
sweep under your bed.
Yeah, right. So you can, and I think that it was a little bit of Alan doing that. Like, Alan didn't want it to be true so bad that he was psychologically like just avoiding all the signs and everything. Even when Michelle is literally laying the case out in front of his face, he's like,
Michelle told that story perfectly, 13 times this episode.
She did.
And baby, I loved every single moment. It was like, y'all ever see the Magnum commercials? I like the chocolate ice cream bars, the ones that we got in the freezer. And it's like they pull off the wrapper and it's all slow and I loved every minute of it. I was literally going crazy. I don't even know what she did for me this episode, but she carried us on her backs. Okay, this woman was laying every single brick in this episode, and I appreciated it. Not that Alan was anywhere near. Alan is on another planet.
But you know what it is? This is what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. Michelle was very much so focused on the investigating, proving her case, all of these things.
It's all to be right.
Alan was emotionally invested. and he was almost too emotionally invested to see anything clearly. That's why they recuse people of cases in the actual legal world. When they feel like you are too emotionally invested, they realize that you cannot see things clearly. So they pull lawyers off of cases, they pull police off of cases, they pull detectives off of cases. That was clear to me, that like just the juxtaposition was so wild.
I don't think he trusts. I think it's also a testament to how much he trusts Michelle.
Yeah.
I think if there was another messenger, maybe if it was for example, maybe he would be able to, maybe he would have been a little bit more introspective. Mm-hmm. But I think Michelle has got a bad rep even in the group for how she's treated David. So now everybody like, oh, so now David is the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. Because
everybody likes the group at this point. Everybody likes David.
Yes.
Regardless of what's going on with Michelle and David, it's clear that if people had to pick a favorite,
it would be David.
It would be David.
It's very, very clear. They play MAFS most likely. Married at First Sight's most likely, okay?
It was terrible.
It was terrible. Alan first of all, the fact that they knew the questions Alan submitted based on the question was cringe.
Wow.
He submits a question like, are you into adult latex play?
I don't know. Where did that come from, Alan?
What you're watching on Pornhub or whatever the site is really not for public consumption. Like, that's personal.
Because that came deep from within your
that's a dive. Like, you're putting in the search bar of Pornhub latex sex.
Because I can understand how everybody in the room was confused. Like, what are we?
That's not coming up on the For You page on
not latex play.
Or am I making that up? I don't know either. Yes, that's the thing. Okay.
Producer might say yes.
In real life, it was given, now we know what you're watching, and you're nasty. Yeah. Okay? You're filthy and you're nasty. Now, obviously, Michelle submitted this question. Who is most likely to cheat? Her and Juan said David.
First of all, that was wild. And the funny part is, Juan said on the after party, he don't even know why he picked David. He said maybe it was just a Freudian slip. Because he said...
At that point, he didn't know. At that
point, Juan has no clue what's happening.
It's very clear he has no clue at all.
No clue at all. So when he writes David's name down, it's wild when he explains it on the after party, because he's like, I literally just threw out a name.
Wow. Yeah. And then they ask, who is most likely to swap partners?
Which also is a weird question. Like,
both were submitted by Michelle because she's in her investigative bag. If you're not Sherlock Holmes, you would never understand, Joseph.
It was messy.
You would never understand. See, you're not a Nancy Drew.
No,
and it shows. Okay.
I just felt like, why be messy? Why would you even submit that messy ass?
And you know what I thought it was? Delicious.
Well, you know what? had a messy question too, though.
What was her messy question?
I don't remember. It
might have been her. The messy question might have been who's more likely to swap partners.
Oh, maybe so.
I think that was MM's question.
Why would you write that down?
And they put down Madison. Y'all are not beating the allegations.
Y'all are not.
Okay? All the evidence is piling up. And y'all, I'm sweating right now because it's unfolding for me all over again as I talk to you.
Yeah, it was really...
so good. So delicious.
Too much.
Okay, so now we move on to Michelle and Alan talk again. Okay? And for the life of her, she cannot understand how stupid this man is.
But that's because... But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why they talked again. Because she got up, didn't she? And Alan went to go check on her. So now Alan is his wheels are turning. Because the only reason why he would remove himself from the table, lie and say, I'm going to go make a call, because that's what he said, and he did not make a phone call.
Yes.
He said, I'm going to go make a phone call. It's because the seeds that she planted prior are now starting to grow. And he's like, I kind of want to talk about this some more.
Exactly. And then, first of all, I have a real feeling about planting seeds, but we got to get into it. She asked she said, well, I want to talk to Madison. If I ask her, do you think she will tell the truth? And he says, if one is lying, why wouldn't the other one lie? And baby, I'm sweating. The tingles I got down my spine.
And that's when you could start to see Alan doing math in his brain.
Yes.
That was the first time that things started to seep
There was
in
not
for
a
him.
math, a piece of paper, a pencil, a calculator in the room. Okay.
Yeah.
He was not doing math ever before. He was on reading and social studies.
Yeah.
And now he finally showed up to math.
Yeah.
Okay. And I appreciated that.
I did. I mean, I hated it for him.
Oh, I hate this whole
Because
thing.
I
for
could,
him.
in that moment, I could feel that the one person who is emotionally invested is about to be wrecked.
And but the problem is, Joe, we're getting it like nugget by nugget.
I know.
That's
It was a
another
slow
thing.
drip,
it was a slow,
which was
drip.
terrible. Like rip the
It was like a
Band-Aid
death
off.
by 1,000 cuts.
It really was. It really
Ooh,
was.
and I loved it. Also,
No.
very Shakespearean.
Yeah, it was.
Loved it. This was so good. It was so yummy. Madison comes to Michelle. That's when Michelle should have known this bitch did it.
Because why come back? Why come back after you've erased your phone?
Then going like, girl, but this is what being in your 20s is like. You don't think things through. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even thinking. Like, you so silly. You thought you was going to sit up in front of this grown-ass lady face, and she wasn't going to be smart enough to clock you and clocked you in real time. She shows her the phone. The messages from the DM is deleted, but David is the most recent. Obviously, you just got a message from David because his is at the top of the list. Bitch, I used to work at Twitter. She used to work at a social media company. You don't think she knows how these things work?
I just feel like Madison, because Madison thinks that she's been pulling the wool over our eyes this whole time. Why do you think that you are the smartest guy in the room? Who told you that, Madison? Because you're not. You can't admit to this woman that you and David have spoken before and that you text only about going to the gym, but then show her a text thread with nothing in it. Why is there nothing in the text thread if you admitted to texting him?
But when I asked you, how about that? And when I asked you, was the message for you? Your answer is, I don't know.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Y'all don't even have, see, but this is the problem. When George Bush said no child left behind, he in fact was leaving you mother jumpers behind.
He was, and this shows.
You don't even have the good sense God gave you. Y'all don't even become, the problem I have with it is not even that you liars. It's that y'all will sit up in people's face and tell stupid ass lies.
With time to think about it.
You had time. But the problem is, Joe, y'all had, both of you, David and Madison, y'all knew the truth for weeks.
No, so here's the thing. We can surmise that there was a time that she didn't know because she never got the message.
Okay, so that's...
You get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. That's giving more grace than I think is allowed here. Because let's keep it 100. If I am out with a man the night before, the person who he is with shows up, and we were obviously flirting with one another enough that Carla made a mental note. Carla made a mental note of what happened, right? So that means that whatever y'all thought y'all were doing, being inconspicuous, was conspicuous.
Right.
So now I know this, right? You knew for damn sure the moment Michelle sat there, because, and I'm gonna tell you another reason why. If it wasn't for you, right? If you really genuinely thought it wasn't for you, why would you turn around and sit in this man's face and say, well, I do want to see where this goes? So you want to see where this goes with a man who was texting another bitch that he want to eat her? Come on!
No,
you
seriously.
gotta be smarter than this. Like,
Yeah, like the thing is, it's possible that she had a moment, right, where David is doing whatever he's doing or whatever before Michelle makes it known to David that I understand that there's a call against his will, right? It's possible that Madison can be operating however she wants to operate in ignorance. At some point, I do believe that David communicated to Madison, something is up with Michelle. Michelle might think some things.
it's not up for debate.
I think for sure.
But not only that, Joe, think back to the scene where Michelle says the stuff about the text message in front of all the women. The look that Carla gave and the look that Madison gave the moment she said it out her mouth.
That's what I mean.
She knew it was for her.
That's what I mean.
She did not need him to affirm in the moment that it was.
That's what I
knew.
mean. That's what I mean. Because I think there's a point where Madison doesn't know that Michelle is even on to this situation is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think in these little...
She don't know that Michelle's the thinker. You are not.
Right. Because you got to think, if the text went to Michelle, it never got to Madison. Michelle was stewing on this for a minute before she said anything to anybody.
Yes.
So there's an opportunity there for Michelle where people, which is why we watch these movies and we say, don't tell the perp that you're on to them. Why do people do that?
Which she didn't.
No. I'm saying,
I'm saying,
I'm this is based off of watching her move. I'm saying, because we were just watching something. We were just watching. What was it?
Are you thinking about not Death on the Nile? What's the new one we watching? Something
Maybe
in
that
Venice.
Was it.
The Death in Venice.
But it's been a running theme where we've been watching stuff and people, because we like murder.
We love Agatha Christie and
murder
everything.
Mysteries and stuff. And the dumbest thing you can do is be on to catching a perp. And then tell them, I think you did it. Like, come on, bro. Why would you do that? That's the one thing Michelle did right.
Oh, might have been Paradise.
It could have been Paradise. Also a very good show.
Also very, very good show. Let me tell you something. She unfolded this so good. So Madison lying like a dead dog, okay, came on in and continues to lie to Michelle. Shows the screenshots and everything, shows her messages where David obviously was there, but you deleted it. But because you think I was born on the day, you thought it was going to work on me, and it did not work. And Michelle told her straight to her face, I think you're lying.
Yes, she did.
And then let me tell you something. That's a strong black woman right there. She's a strong black woman. And I loved every moment of it, okay? Like, I was eating it up, all right? Michelle is one by one eating every single last person in this house up alive.
She was running circles around them.
Like, it was too good, okay? Once Michelle tells her to her face, she immediately goes to see what Alan got going on. Madison immediately goes to Alan.
Which is immediate sign of guilt.
Immediate.
Because you got to think what was happening before she pulled her. They were all in the kitchen and they were having conversations as a group about something completely unrelated. Michelle sees Madison in the kitchen, says, can I pull you for a chat? They go talk. After the chat, she immediately goes find Alan. Why? Why not just go back to the kitchen and finish if you're completely innocent of this, right? And this, in your mind, because it has nothing, quote, air quotes, has nothing to do with you and has nothing to do with Alan, why would you then leave the conversation and go check on Alan to see what's going on? That's because you were worried that Alan is also now putting the pieces to this puzzle together and you wanted to check his temperament.
And Michelle, it's almost like they created this moment for Michelle. It's like I'm watching Clue in real time.
No, seriously.
Michelle kept it so 100 with that heifer when she told her to her face. Now, I've talked to everyone about this, and I just didn't want it to get back to you. I wanted you to hear it from me. So she had already known that she had laid a bit of a seed with Alan, so she had to make sure, I done been working on this man, glamoring him and all that shit like that. I got to make sure, you ain't mess up none of my work. He's enamored by me. You know what I mean? And Alan was not here for it. What do you think about Alan and his mood change?
It was very hard to watch because, like I said, the one person that is really the victim here, is really hurt in this situation, was Alan, right? Some people can sit online and be in the comments on YouTube and all this and rewrite history for Michelle. Like she was just the picture perfect spouse from the beginning and her husband stepped out on her. We all know, the ones of us, the real ones, understand that that's not the case. Alan, on the other hand, was committed from the beginning.
Yes.
Was into Madison from the beginning. Was trying to make it work from the beginning. Was going through physical changes. He went to go get the Invisalign. Yes. He's going to go see a stylist.
He spent $3,000 on clothes.
But that was it. He said, I done spent $3,000 on this B. I said, say it with your chest, Alan.
Say it with your chest. And call them more B's. Everybody trying to censor you. You know what? Stop. Let's take a moment. Y'all not holding space for people, specifically men, to have a room and space to crash out is why we have mass shootings.
1,000%.
You gotta call a bitch a bitch.
1,000%.
Sometimes a bitch is just a dirty, raggedy, red ass hoe. And that's a funky dog head ass bitch. And it ain't nothing else that she is. And the problem is that everybody, you gotta remain respectful and all that.
Keep it cute. Why?
Why? First of all, Emma, wasn't you just the one
I was about
calling
to say,
somebody a
MMU was
clown?
just crashing out.
What
And,
the
come on, bro. I didn't like that.
I don't like that
I
shit
didn't
at all.
like that.
So Alan, call us. You want to call a couple bitches some bitches? You could
Get it
call
off.
me.
You can get it off your chest.
Because I'll call her a raggedy bitch,
Funky
too.
dog head ass. What do
Are you
you
kidding
mean?
me?
Oh, you got to keep it cute. You got to keep it
I
respectful.
ain't even like that
Why?
shit.
So is what she did respectful?
Y'all have to allow people to crash out.
What do you
Y'all-
mean?
And the reason why y'all say it need to be respectful because all you funky dog head ass mugs knew.
All y'all
Y'all
knew.
knew.
Right. It didn't happen to you.
Because if you would have felt that in real time, if you feel those feelings in real
Right,
time,
right.
you are here to tell me. We watch you in a usher's cape sit up there and call a man a clown.
Literally.
Why are you looking like you passing around a collection plate? Are you kidding me?
It happened. This is something that literally happened.
And then you would turn around and tell somebody else how to act? No. Call these bitches bitches. You want to act like a bitch? I'm going to call you a bitch. And he was respectful enough not to do it to it. Now, that was the respect.
Right, that was the respectful.
That was
But
the
he was
respect.
outside crashing,
He was being
crashing out in
respectful.
front of his friends, where he should be. Y'all, if y'all claim to be friends, you would let your friend crash out and get it off their chest because these emotions. He is actually processing these emotions in real time. No, the way nobody else.
Because y'all knew.
I'm about to say the way nobody else, including Michelle, is.
Exactly.
Right? Michelle been stewing on this for weeks.
Yep.
And investigating for weeks. Right? Oh, she done said something to some of y'all. Some of y'all knew. Carla was there when
Yes.
to see. You know what I mean?
Be
so Alan is
respectful.
literally the only person that is processing these emotions in real time, and he's also the only person that was actually bought in.
Yes.
Right? You can only be hurt when you are vulnerable.
Yes.
Right? This is why I don't think Michelle was actually hurt. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
no,
when was she ever vulnerable with David? Somebody name it, clock it, and put it into the comments.
She was embarrassed.
She was embarrassed. It was an ego thing.
Yes,
which we
for
get it.
sure. It was the
we
ego
get it.
thing.
So Alan is the only person in real time that is processing his feelings being crushed by two people. Not only Madison, but Juan let it go on the after party that the closest two people in the cast that spent the most time together were Alan and David.
And hold on, because I'm going to get to that raggedy shit too. Because I'm going to call
now-
a bitch a bitch.
So now,
Okay?
right. So now he's also processing hurt that he's received from two people in real time. Y'all gonna stand in this man's face and say, keep it cute. Make sure you're respectful.
Clown. First of all, you sat up there. You had the unmitigated goal to sit up there in an usher's cape and then go call somebody a clown and then tell this man. Y'all not even going. Y'all listen, chat. Michelle and David now speak. Okay, y'all, because this is in real time. It's happening. Michelle and David speak, and she says, "I need to know straight up if the message from Madison or no." He was like, "I ain't talking about this again." I'm gonna tell you one more time. I'm not answering this
I'm gonna
question.
tell you, this is my inner conflict that's happening while I'm watching this. I am conflicted, my feelings, right? Because I understand that David is lying, right? And I understand that his lying is wrong. At the same time, a part of me is enjoying the backbone that I see him growing in real time, where he's like, you know
He
what,
just don't give a
Michelle?
fuck about her.
He's tired.
Yeah.
He's tired, right? And so I wanted him to, my issue with David is this. I wanted him to get to a place where he grew a backbone and told this funky dog head, I'm done with your BS before he stepped out. I wanted him to do it in a way, the same way that I was calling for Alan to have a backbone and be like, yo, like, I'm tired of you stringing me along. You know what I mean? Telling me, we got to remember, on their honeymoon, Michelle tells David to back off.
Yes.
All because he was checking on her after an argument.
Yes.
Like, let's not rewrite history here, right?
But the problem is that, no, let's not rewrite history and make Michelle the victim. There
Man.
are two people here who were in relationship with David.
Yes.
And that's what I also think, like, having a friendship is a relationship.
Yes.
And although this relationship with this woman is not working out, you still, which to me you're a wolf in sheep's clothing, had a relationship with Alan, because really you was taking his temperature. Let's keep it 100. You're not going to get me to believe otherwise. None of that was genuine. And we're watching that unfold. Where I'm conflicting in the same space because I think in a vacuum this is a bad situation. I think it's going to be a bad it's a bad look. In the same way, I don't think that Michelle is a bad person. I don't think that David is a bad person.
I think Michelle is a bad person because Michelle was diabolical to David before anything happened.
But wait a minute, I want to get to that.
You understand what I'm saying?
We're going to get to that too. And this is why I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel differently about David in this moment. But I don't think they're bad people, right? Michelle talks to Carla. Carla is lit. Okay?
No,
so
Carla
high.
High.
Insert John Legend. Okay? So like she was high. She was up here with it.
No,
she was on another planet.
The top of the Chrysler building.
It looked wonderful, Carla. But
I think Juan was lifted too.
You
I've never seen Juan sing so much.
We would have been the same way though.
Oh, I'd have been.
Because me and him can't handle too much.
Nah. You know what? Zar has ruined me. I used to be able to be like around drama, and now I get secondhand, third hand, fourth hand embarrassment.
I can't do it. Truth is, but Carla knows. Carla in her soul. Carla gonna say, like she's saying something deep. Whatever happens in the dark comes to the light. Bitch, was you in the dark with him? Tell us what the hell was going on. You had on your night goggles, bitch. Let us know.
No, Carla basically was trying through memes and through eye contact. She was blinking like. She was trying to let us know a couple weeks ago. She knew. She
was trying to let us know. Then she knew.
Yeah.
Madison walks upstairs and she's in the room with the producer. And she says, I don't know what to do. And the producer, who knows what the bleep is going on, says, is any of this the truth? Like, what part of this is the truth? And she was like, I just don't want to hurt anybody. And that the foundation begins to crack.
She immediately showed all the cards. In that moment, that was the confession right there.
That was the beginning of the confession.
Yeah.
Because what we all still don't know is, when did this begin? But I have theories. Okay? I have an idea of when it began. But we still don't know that, right?
Well, when does your theory start?
I think they started talking on the honeymoon. I'm going to tell you why. Because she said it out her mouth. She said it out.
What?
So she says Madison finally talks to David. He all looking like a motherfucking oaf. Looking all stupid and dumb.
This is in the house, in the Airbnb.
Yes. Okay. Walk into the room or whatever the case may be. He sits down, chats with Madison. Madison says, I know we've had chemistry since the honeymoon. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that says to me, y'all been chatting since the honeymoon. Nobody would say that, and we really didn't have chemistry until 3 weeks after the fucking honeymoon. But nobody would say that they had chemistry from the honeymoon if they didn't actually have chemistry from the honeymoon.
No, I agree.
Yes. Because he's still in his lying mode, and he says, oh, well, I had chemistry with everybody on the honeymoon except for my wife. No. Don't try to clean it up and tell the truth.
Yeah, I think there was a perfect storm that probably happened at the resort. I think the perfect storm was Madison saw Alan at the altar and immediately didn't like him because she wasn't physically attracted to him.
And that's it.
And I think she alienated him right off the bat because she wasn't attracted to him. Mm-hmm. I think inversely, Michelle saw David at the altar and was not physically attracted to him and immediately alienated him from the very beginning. So I think now Madison is walking around alienating Alan, not invested and not really giving him a chance. Michelle told David to back off. Yes. And so we saw David is walking around the resort by himself, tasting coffee and reviewing it. And I think that's probably what they're referring to.
So that is what they're referring to. But what I'm trying to get at is y'all been raggedy. This has been going on for so long, and then y'all been trying to make Alan believe that he had some kind of chance with this woman he never had.
I think for sure Alan never had a chance, but I also remember seeing David constantly come back to the table with Michelle and try.
You're right. We're not going to absolve Michelle. But the truth is, Michelle has handed us this on a silver platter. You bitches really don't deserve what she just gave us, okay? This is TV gold, all right? None of us really deserve this, and she served it up to us on a platter, despite the fact that she's an evil villain, and she didn't have to do that for us, okay?
Right.
She did it anyway. She literally, first of all, I was thinking about this last night. I really do believe Michelle's an evil villain. However, to me, what she's given us is such reality TV gold. Like, what she has served to us on a platter is going to be spoken about. If Wendy Williams was here, oh my God, it would be on Hot Topics. It would be on Hot Topics. And that's really how I feel about this. She is giving Knuckles. Have you guys seen Sonic? So Knuckles pairs up with Dr. Robotnik, okay?
I do know.
Yes, Dr. Robotnik is like pulling the wool over Sonic's eyes. And now Sonic is pulling the wool over Knuckles' eyes. And now Knuckles is like a villain in this movie. But the truth is that they really aren't, okay? And over time, Knuckles starts to get its own like feet, like starts to understand that like, no, pairing with you and being the villain is like not okay. So in this analogy, Michelle is Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik. She is both, all right? And the truth is, she is starting to understand that I got to let go of my Dr. Robotnik ways because I'm about to serve y'all something up that's going to blow your mind. And I think she did. And for me, I feel like I'm meeting somebody brand new. I'm like, who is this wonderful woman?
Oh, no, not wonderful. We can't call her
it is the way that she is dismantling all of this is giving V for Vendetta. I feel like
she's...
We're on a train in masks.
No, she's doing a bang up job
it's phenomenal.
Of investigating, and that's all I'm gonna give her.
And what is happening though in her way of doing it, she's shifting the narrative, and it's like shifting it from y'all been looking at it's sleight of hand. Y'all been looking at this whole time.
It's a lot of sleight of hand.
Really need to be looking at is this.
No, it is.
That is sexy, exy.
No, it is a sleight of hand, but. In debriefing all of it, I will never
let her off.
Never. Because I promised some of y'all I was going to give y'all some props. Coco Renee, shout out to whoever at Coco Renee is. She had a good thread. It said, Michelle is on the hunt. I think she's more on the hunt of wanting to be right. She doesn't want to be with David. This is the one thing she wants to prove. Not saying he was right, but we all know you weren't going to say yes on decision day, right? Like we knew this before.
We all knew this before.
Before all of this stuff happened,
yes,
we knew. I think she's an incredible investigator.
Which means she did not have to do this for us.
Right.
And yes, she provided. Do y'all see what I'm trying to say here? She didn't have to give us a goddamn thing. She was saying no anyway, but she did it anyway. Okay? And I appreciate that.
And I know that Lifetime does as well.
Let me tell you something. They need to put her on the payroll. The amount of work she did is I've never seen the amount of, in a production like this, in a production like Married at First Sight, I've never seen anyone unfold a story like this single-handedly, bro.
But I don't even think she did a great amount of work. David's lie was terrible.
And that's the problem. But you know what?
He didn't know if it was orange chicken. He said it was a plate of food. His cousin sent them. Then the cousin ended up being a girl named Tiffany. David, David is her assistant detective.
You're absolutely... Hello?
What are you doing, bro?
You're absolutely correct. The lie was so dumb that it was never going to hold up.
It was never going to hold up. Stevie Wonder could see the lie.
It wasn't the lie. It was the strategic dismantling of it to the point where she unearthed an atomic bomb.
Yeah, in real time. Yeah.
That's what it is for me. But let's get to it, okay? David and Madison at this point are chatting, finally telling the truth, giggling and kicking their little feet and sipping from the same cup. You trying to tell me you ain't been messing with this raggedy hoe all this time and y'all sipping from the same cup?
They was sipping, and I told Zar, she was looking at her phone.
I was taking notes.
I said, you gotta watch what they doing. She said, what? I said, they passing the cup. You know what I mean?
But that's something Joe wouldn't notice before.
1,000%.
So the fact that you noticed that was impressive.
I'm trying to read the body language too, y'all.
Because I be reading it down. I be like, did you see that? Mm-hmm. So I really was impressed by that.
No. Let's be clear. Most men are Alan. Especially when you want the lie to be true, right? Most men are like, no, she was just tired. No, she wasn't tired, brother. That's not why she didn't text you back.
They laughing and giggling. Well, I like you. Do you like me too? And we have chemistry. And you know what I mean? Well, give me a hug. I feel like I can't breathe. Now, we ain't never seen you raggedy, funky, dog, kid ass bitch, ask Alan for a hug. But now you got all the hugs to give?
I never seen her so soft with anybody.
I know.
But you would try to convince us, Madison, that you were trying to make it work with Allison. I never even seen you give him a hug. The man won a bet, and you reneged on the bet, you renigger.
Literally. Oh, Jesus.
What? Ain't that what they say in spades?
Oh
when you renege,
all right.
I'm just calling her a renege.
Enough.
Couldn't even give him a kiss. She reneges on the bet and says, oh, kiss me on the cheek. What?
You can't even, but that's because she was kissing another man in the mouth already. So she couldn't be, she was like, I could do a lot of things, but I'm not about to be kissing both of these people. And the truth, and that's 1,000% the truth. And I'm going to tell you how I know. I'm going to tell you how I know. Because I've been a bitch who did it. I've done it. Listen, I've done it. We all know the girl. You messing with one man one day, he come and your other man pick you up at night. That's when the cheater
draw the line?
We all know. Yes, it's the truth.
She was definitely kissing.
Because you trying to hold on to a little piece of your conscience that's telling you that, okay, what I'm doing is
I'm not
all
gonna kiss
bad.
him in the mouth. Yeah, because that would have been diabolical, even though what she was doing was still terrible.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, like, that's really the truth. You was kissing him since before then, and you're not gonna get me to believe otherwise. I don't give a damn what none of y'all say because both of y'all are liars. So it doesn't matter, right? Finally, after Madison and David speak about their love for one another, and for real,
it was really like having a moment, yo. It was so awkward.
It was so childish.
You like me? You like me too?
Yeah.
She was blushing.
So was he. Oh well, I can't believe I got woken up for this.
No, they were blushing.
Bro, you wasn't asleep.
He was like, "Oh man, you feeling me too? You feeling me too?"
Was like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling.
Here's my problem. This go back to my conflict. This is diabolical, but Michelle deserves this.
The problem is
she deserves it. You deserve it. That's the church song.
Don't put the Lord into this. This is why I don't feel like anybody deserves this. And I said this last time. Hear me out. I said this the last time we spoke, right? If Tiffany is the person David is talking to, Michelle deserves it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But the fact that it's Madison,
Alan doesn't deserve it.
That's ugly on another
Alan
level.
doesn't deserve it. But Michelle, full stop, Alan didn't deserve this. I'm going to tell you what made it worse about Madison's situation. Michelle let it go first to the women before David ever brought this to the guys. So Madison's been hearing this for like weeks now and sitting there the whole time like, just letting her rip.
And you could have prepared Alan. You could have said, you know what, Alan, we need to be done.
Yeah.
You could have stopped Alan from all of this.
Because you watching him go get Invisalign.
Yep.
That's what was, but I don't see, and I think people got the picture I was painting, but for those who did not, that is a physical change that is painful. You understand what I'm saying? So you're watching. No, it is. It is. Like if you've been through something like that, this is not like going to go see a stylist and just buying a different shirt. Like not only is Invisalign expensive, but it's painful.
And it's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle change because it also dips into whatever your confidence is socially, right? Because now when I said it a couple of episodes ago, when you wear Invisalign and you're wearing a new tray, you suffer from a lisp early on until your mouth is kind of used to what's happening. So now, like it can be embarrassing. It's painful. Madison is the most diabolical cast member to me because you watched him go through these physical changes, knowing that you was kissing another man in the mouth the whole time.
And it's not up for debate. Alan and David chat.
Oof. This was a terrible chat.
But this is why I don't like David too. This whole chat was like no responsibility taken.
Yeah,
And that's high key who you are, bro. And I like David.
Because I now do too, but it was like you were wrong, bro. And at least when you sit in front of, I understand the energy that you have with Michelle.
I get it.
But you don't need to have that. You need to have an energy of remorse with Alan because Alan ain't did nothing wrong to you.
And a whole
you
thing,
wronged Alan.
And that's it. And that's all. And if you're not coming like, bro, I messed up. Okay? And I know I messed up, but I do have feelings for her. And I know you're going to be angry and all that stuff. Like, you could have took it a whole other way.
Because it felt like David was saying, wake up. You ain't see that we was feeling each other? Like the onus was on Alan to see.
He was aggressive. I'm going to say aggressive.
It was aggressive. Like, it was almost like, come on, bro. Like, she's feeling me. Like, whoa, this is not the approach. This is not how. Let me tell you something. If Alan was of a different pigmentation, they'd have been rolling. This would have been on Zeus. They'd have been rolling around in the dirt.
Rightfully so. And rightfully, because really, this is a test in jail. Because it ain't even about her.
It ain't even about. That's what I'm saying.
This is a test in jail, high key.
Because I didn't know that. And the one thing that I do like about the after party is sometimes you do get a little some nuggets that give you in a window into some things that matter, because a lot of it is. But sometimes you do get some things that it's a nugget into a window of some real insight. And I think the most impactful thing that happened on this past after party was Juan saying the people who spent the most time together out of the cast was Alan and David.
But that was by David's design. Because the truth is, he was trying to get close to Madison. And that's another reason why on my board of things that are diabolical, because David's not just being... The reason why I am putting David and Michelle in the same category is Michelle was only mean to David. David did a diabolical thing.
To Alan.
That had nothing to do. So now, because you're miserable... in your situation, you would turn around and you could have been a man at any stage of this and said, look, bro, we got to have a conversation.
Hell, you could have talked to Alan first. Damn, Michelle.
You could have talked to Alan first.
You could have went to your man like, listen.
Because the truth is, you told the lie about the text in front of Alan. That's what that's not what we not talking about. So you don't get no reprieve from me. I don't see these things in a silo. I see them globally. I have a more omniscient point of view because I'm watching on TV. And while everybody else is trying to cape for David, like, well, Michelle was so bad. Michelle can be bad and David be bad too. Both of those things can live and exist exclusively from one another. And to me, it says quite a bit about David's character that he would do that. To know that you were hanging out with this man, you were building a relationship with this man whilst building a relationship with his wife. What kind of freaky threesome throuple shit is you on?
Not Freaky Friday.
For real. You know what I mean? That says a lot about your character, bro.
The one thing that everybody on the cast has said at some point or another in these after party interviews was that Alan is legitimately who he presents as. Like, if
we met him, he is,
I was about to get there because Juan talked about it too. Like, Juan was just like, David is Juan basically said Alan is the type of guy that if you call him at 3:00 in the morning and say I need to get bailed out, Alan will get up and figure out how to bail you out. And I can personally say that tracks. Like, I've met him, and you just get a vibe from people.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean? Immediately, it just gave nice guy. Hell, when we was leaving, he the only one who said goodbye to us.
Well, that's because I was eating people up alive, so they probably was like, fuck them, let them go.
Said that funky dog.
Get her and him the fuck up
out of here.
But he was, and he stopped.
He met us outside.
Yeah.
He was the only person that was like, and not that everybody else wasn't great.
No, MM2.
No, but David, I'm sorry, Alan made a point to go out of his way.
Yes, that's
to say, like, you guys were great, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that just from that little interaction that we did have, what Juan was saying on the after party tracks, he just gave that. My
favorite part of the conversation with David and Alan is when Alan says, fuck her. And he was like, you don't got to say fuck her. He said, fuck you too. I said, yes. Michelle, thank you, Michelle.
Say it with your chest.
And said it. He said no.
Fuck you too, you funky dog. Get it? I'm with that. Like, say it with your chest. Why is it that we can't allow? You should be allowed to feel whatever emotion is that you are feeling.
when
right?
you've been wrong.
Especially when you've been wrong. But just period, right? We went through a lot of loss and angst last year. And both of us had moments where we just was feeling feelings. You know what I mean? Like, and it could have been separate and apart from the day that it happened, right? Like when Zar's aunt passed, it could have been, she could have passed in, you know, on a Monday in September. And maybe in, you know, goddamn February, you're feeling something just that day, just something triggered it that day. You're human. You're allowed to feel human things and have human thoughts and have human emotions and have human interactions. And part of that is feeling grief, pain, anger, all of that. So that's why I didn't like when they were trying to snuff it out almost. Like put the fire out, like smother it. Let this man, he outside.
He not only is he outside, but David, you will have the unmitigated goal to sit your big motherfucking back ass in front of me and tell me some shit. You, first of all, Madison, David looked just like your sister's husband.
Hold on, y'all.
Weird as hell.
You got to stop there. That is why I saw the picture. That's crazy.
So first of all, y'all freaky and y'all nasty. Okay? It's something deeper going on there. Nasty. That's number one. Number two, you would sit in front of my face. I haven't even spoken to my wife. You're sitting in front of my face to tell me some news and then also going to tell me how to react to the news. Alan is a white man. If he pulled out the AR-15 in his backpack,
not the AR-15,
because you know white men like to travel with their AR-15 and shut all this shit up, he would have been well within his rights.
No, he would have been, if he wanted to turn into an active shooter, he would have been justified.
He would have been, because y'all playing with him.
I mean, you sat in front of his face and basically told him, like, bro.
Yo, we not condoning violence.
No,
though,
we
for
do
real.
not condone. We do not condone.
We do not condone violence. It's jokes,
kind.
y'all.
But it really, you sat in this man's face and basically told him, like, come on, bro. Like, you didn't. Like,
I was having a hard time David actually, but this is another reason why I can't get with David, because he sat down to tell somebody that he did something wrong, only to also try to gaslight that person in the moment to make them feel bad for him. We going through the same thing. Wait, what? What? How? No, your wife didn't like you. My wife didn't like me. Me and you are going through the same thing. Not you and her.
Yeah.
That says so much about your character, but this is what I be trying to tell y'all, darling. Y'all have to stop. A lot of times we're leading with our feelings and we turn our ears off.
Yeah.
Y'all have to listen to the things. I was listening the entire episode because I said, oh, he is telling who he actually is. This says more about his character, y'all, than anything. And I said this to Michelle. I said, the way that you are reacting to me does not seem like a way somebody would normally act if they did not like somebody. But your spirits have a way of inciting chaos in you that will make you run amok and act a fool until you screw something up. And I almost believe this is his character. You can't turn a good person into a bad person. We can't, no matter what Michelle does to David, it does not spring this level of events. No matter what she does.
I think my biggest issue with David's actions and reactions is Alan is not the enemy, right? Because he sat in front of Alan and said, I used to love her, and I still do. That's not nothing you should have said to Alan. That's not anything you should have said to him. Like, on some tip, like, bro, why don't you get that we had something? We got something more than y'all got something.
Are you kidding me?
He was like,
I got a deeper connection with you than you got with your wife. That he should have put them paws on him. Let me tell y'all something. I want everybody.
Not the paws.
I should have put them paws on him.
We do not condone violence.
We do not condone violence. But if you think I wouldn't have flipped the tape, I wish for God, and I mean this, and this is why I tell people. So two things. If we want to go on a side tangent, all this affirmed for me is that if y'all ever see my man doing anything, don't ever come to me and tell me nothing. Because I, too, am like a white man in the world. I carry my AR-15 with me everywhere I go, okay? And I shoots the messenger. I don't give a damn what nobody say. You had to know I was being a good girlfriend. No. Look at how laying a seed unearth so many things, and atomic bomb goes off. Well, now at least he knows. He was always going to know.
And it ain't no good girlfriends here because all of y'all knew.
Y'all knew.
All of y'all knew. What's the story about? We knew a story about a couple who the friend group was out with the mistress. They going on boat trips and stuff together. What in the? That's what this kind of gave a little bit.
Let me tell you something. You can think you gonna come to me as a woman on some barber type shit, and it'll be smoke in the mother jumping city. Cause you will never in your life be able to tell me about Joseph Allen Conner. I don't give a damn who you. I don't care if he slid from your mammy tapping legs. You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. I would not be letting up off of nobody's ass. Okay, yeah. It's just not going to happen. And these are the moments that solidify it for me. Because as I'm watching this man, I'm just like, Allen does not deserve. There was a way for this to be done, and this was not it.
No,
and the problem is, Madison was going to continue to lie.
No. That's full stop. Because I said that when we was watching it. I said, I don't think it was Madison's idea to go in to pull David aside and then have this air quotes confession on camera and say, oh, we need to just pull the rug out from under them and just rip the Band-Aid off, so to speak. And we need to get it out there. I'm feeling you. You feeling blah, blah, blah. That wasn't her idea. She was going to lie until the
producer
said,
let me tell you what's going to happen. You tell the truth now. We've got a week left. We'll send you out on dates. So then everybody can see you guys as a couple that we know that you can be. And then you can reclaim your time. We'll set you up with the experts, get you guys chatting and everything like that. So then you can really solidify yourself as this couple, like as real love.
And then Madison said, got you. David, where's David?
Sounds great. But that's, again,
she was going to lie until
George
the end.
Bush is leaving you mother jumpers behind.
Oh, it's a fact.
It's clear, okay? You literally was never going to let up off that lie, and that makes you, Madison. I've been talking about David a lot. You ain't no good. Okay, y'all deserve each other, high kick. Y'all really do deserve each other. It really is a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. And I am of the belief, as a person who has lived a full life, I've cheated, and now I'm married to the person I was cheating with. It was different.
Well, technically, the cheater was the other person because I was first. We all know we met when we was 16. Okay. That's history. That's in the books.
The point
I was first. So technically, the cheating happened to the other mother.
Oh, okay. Whatever. The point I'm trying to make is I do believe that sometimes you just have to follow your heart in situations.
Well, tell the story about the friend.
I was going through a divorce. Now, I knew why I was going through a divorce. Not everybody in my circle knew why I was going through a divorce. And my girlfriend, her mother, friend, my ex got this friend in a divorce. So I'm not going to say her name because she might not be fucking with me still. But her mom, okay, I was speaking with her mom, Miss Elaine, and I'll say her name because she kind of saved my life. And I was going through it. Like, I was really like, I done blew up this man's life. And this is something I lived a very good life. So it was like, everybody like, what's going on? I can't believe this. Because everybody's seeing my life in pictures and everything like that and thinking it's supposed to be this and it's something else.
But nobody was really surprised because everybody knew she would end up here.
Shut up. Let me tell my story. But the lady Miss Elaine tells me this story. Her and her husband has been married for 37 years. Miss Elaine says, the way I met my husband was on a double date with my best friend. And my best friend is on the date with Mr. Howie. She said, who's her now husband. She said she was dating him for a couple months. They were like, at that time you date for a couple months, you're in a relationship. Marriage was soon coming. And Mr. Howie had bought a friend for Miss Elaine. Miss Elaine says, me and Howie talked the whole night. It was like neither one of them were there. She said after that, we started dating. And she said we just kept going after that. And she said as terrible as it was to lose what was at that time my best friend, the greatest decision I made was following my heart. And that, it changed how I thought about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like, I think over time it felt that way. Like what she was speaking to me was coming to fruition. But to choose yourself in a way, I do get that. I think that sometimes we are the heartbroken or we are the heartbreakers. nobody is exempt from that. And I know we like to try to pretend like we
nobody
so
is
above it, right?
Everybody done broke somebody heart.
Or you've been heartbroken, and eventually you will. You know what I mean? I know we try to pretend like we so above it, but the truth is, life just comes at you fast. You know what I mean? And you think you're making a decision that makes sense, and it's going to hurt or harm someone else. And also, because life comes at you so fast, it moves on. Mm-hmm. And it feels so traumatic one day. And I still feel like I feel the vestiges of that. Like, I still feel like I know I'm a good person, but I'm a villain in that person's story.
And everybody is a villain in somebody's story. Life
comes at you fast, and you make certain decisions. So when I'm talking about David and Madison, it's not from a space of being judgmental. It's from a space of being there. It's from a space of being that person. I can't believe I just told you my business like this.
Well, y'all know we a family here. Do you think that David and Madison will work out?
I think they could. I think out of spite. And truthfully, part of the reason why me and Joe gonna work is out of spite.
That's from high school.
For real.
Because a lot of people, and let me tell you, I'm a steadfast, committed type of person.
You are.
People told me from high school that we wasn't gonna work. I had teachers. I'll never forget the day.
Oh my God.
And we close. We getting out of here.
We close to closing, yo.
I'll never forget the day. Me and Zar had an argument. We had a knockdown, drag out argument, and it felt like the whole school knew. Cause it was a small high school, middle school, so maybe the whole school did know, but it felt like the whole school knew. And I was Allen. I was pissed. I'm punching walls and swinging that air, right? I was really having an Allen moment, right? And the teacher pulled me aside. She put me in her room. There was nobody in the room. And she said, you know what? You can't be getting out of character like this, blah, blah, blah. She said, and you got to think, you're young, right? Like, why get upset over this? This is not going to be your wife. She said, you know that, right? Like, she said, this is high school. Like, you do know that, like, this is not going to be your wife. Like, you'll move on from this, right? And in that moment, I thought, you funky dog, you're wrong. In that moment, I thought, you're wrong. I'm only this upset because I know that that's my wife. That's why I'm punching lockers and punching air. Right? And I never forgot about it.
He wanted to send her an invitation to the wedding, yo.
I sure enough did, because I'm that type of... If you met a petty person,
sure.
Let me tell you, I'm more petty than them.
Thought I was petty.
No.
I'm not, though.
I don't know anybody that got my petty beat.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I don't either.
I wanted to send her an invitation to the wedding just to say, look at me now.
I can't. The point we're trying to make is, sometimes things come from rubble, right? So, and that's okay. The problem is that I just don't see that here. I wasn't, but then again, I feel like to be able to do something as diabolical as this and try to hold up the scheme for so long, they was really just holding up the foundation like this with their hands. At least y'all work together. Ain't that like part of it? Teamwork?
I guess so.
I don't know. I really feel like...
I mean, so the episode ended with Madison and David low-key saying, like, let's try it out.
But everybody just in the house, like, nobody is surprised.
No, nobody is surprised, Bill. Nobody
Camille come out her room like, where David at?
I know.
She like, yeah. What is happening?
Camille said her and Thomas was asleep and heard the
literally.
commotion, woke up, and was like, oh, where's David?
Also, we're going to end this with this because this woman deserves all the accolades. I hope that they get a Golden Globe for this episode and Michelle gets to give the acceptance speech, because the way this woman looked like a Cheshire cat, she could not believe the work that she had done. She is actually Thanos. She collected the Infinity Stones and then snapped her finger.
Yo, Michelle was lit, but this is the this is the unserious part about it. Michelle was like almost happy that she had solved the case at the end.
Almost.
She
was elated.
Michelle was on the after party because Lifetime is TLC
and
they no drama.
Michelle, you look good, girl.
So they had Michelle on the after party, and she said something that stuck out to me only because it proved my point in all of this. She said Keisha asked her about how she felt about everything, in its entirety once everything kind of culminated. She said, I was right and like that felt good. That was a direct quote. I wrote it down the minute she said it.
Because this
is what I mean. This
is
why when I say Alan is the only real person that's the victim here.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Like she said, like that was her word. She said it out of her mouth to the camera. I was right, and like that felt good. Who getting cheated on ever saying some shit like what?
Madison and David are going to have to lean on each other because they are really like scorched earth at this point. Like, who would want to be around you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to be cool with you. The idea that you would be cool with a man, and I haven't even really gotten into Madison because I never saw it for her, so I don't even feel the need to draw it home. I always thought she was the issue.
We knew she was diabolical from the beginning.
The reason why I think I'm harping on David is because we had another idea of him, and this is who, when he told Michelle, I still think I'm a...
He said, I used to love her, and I still do.
He gonna say, yeah, I lied. The text was for Madison.
I ain't talking about this no more. Go ahead on. Scram!
My God, my wig is about to fall off my head, child. Jesus Christ. Thank y'all so much for joining us again. Y'all got to tell us what y'all was thinking. I need to know what juicy details that we missed. We might have to come back and talk about this a little bit more.
Well, we will next week.
I'm sweaty. Thank y'all so much for watching. We, again, are Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner. Thank you for joining us on the Conner's Couch. And we'll see you beautiful mother later.
Peace.